Tell us about the importance of your environment and your workspace to maximizing your productivity.
Mm-hmm. Well, so one of the things is the importance of a clean desk, actually, that probably many people have had the experience that they know they like it better, but actually the research is hopefully compelling enough that it will really lead you to make a difference. That I like to think of it this way. Did you ever booby-trap a room as a kid? You know, you put like a cup of water on top of the door, right? You know, you've got all these little traps in it, right? That we can think of a messy desk as a booby-trapped office, but it's booby-trapped for your distractions. So if you think about the things that get left on a desk, they tend to be things that were difficult, or where there's some social obligation, or where you knew it was going to take a lot of time, right? It's the stuff that exactly the wrong stuff to be within your visual field when you've decided to sit down and really work on something important. Because if you've already decided what's important to work on, then it's not that other stuff, right? So, but that stuff is exquisitely designed to grab your attention. Other things that are well designed to grab your attention are the little pop-ups on a screen, that people have worked hard to make them be able to grab your attention easily. And another one is the sound of voices. So other people, so open plan offices are really quite a challenge for high quality concentrated work. They can be good for team building and other things like that, but for doing really thoughtful work, they are pretty bad, to be honest, right? So it's worth it if you're really going to go and sit down and get some good work done and your desk is a mess, it's worth it to either go work somewhere else for that work session, or to just take everything, no matter what it is, and just put it in a pile and move it out of your visual field, because then you won't be distracted about it while you're working. I'm not saying don't get to it, I'm not saying throw it away, whatever, however you want to handle that. But if you've decided that it's time to do something important, clear that desk or go sit somewhere without it, because it really will make a difference. The other two things about the environment that are useful to know are light and noise. The story on noise is pretty straightforward. I'm someone who really enjoys sitting in coffee shops, so this is sad for me to hear, but essentially we perform worse. It'll take you longer and you will do worse work. You'll make more errors if there's noise. And it doesn't matter if it's speech or white noise or music or whatever. Speech is the worst. Human speech is extremely hard for people to tune out. For good reason. We have lots of reasons for picking up on what other people are doing. It helps us survive, navigate the social world. But the downside is that it's very hard to tune out. But they all will have a decrement in performance. There's a few qualifications to that. They're very subtle and they're almost never relevant to the kind of knowledge work most people are doing these days. But if you're doing something, visual arts kind of creative work, right, then a little bit of noise, if it creates the psychological experience of being free from constraints, then can help with creativity. But too much noise actually will interfere with that anyway, if it's really loud. And the same can be said of lighting, that some darkness can create that freedom from constraints, and if it does that, it can help with creativity. You've got also some kids who are really far on the spectrum of having difficulty paying attention, who can do better with some white noise. But for most people, if you're in any kind of meaningful work as an adult, you're not in that category, right? So you're at a point in your life where your concentration is such that you probably are going to do worse with noise. So, if you have something important to do, then find a quiet space, put on some noise-canceling headphones, which also signals to other people, don't bother me, right? So, you don't do it all the time. There's plenty of things that we can do where it is okay if it takes a long time and you make errors, right? I mean, don't tell the boss, but like, we all know that that's okay, but there's some things that really matter. And the last thing I'll say on that is light. There's research showing that bright lighting and natural light, if you get some good light from the windows, does help people concentrate. Does make it easier to access the executive functions, so focused attention, deliberate decision-making, those kinds of things. Things like mental rotation have been shown as well, that people can take an object and rotate it in their minds more effectively with high-quality light. So brighter lights as well as lights on the cool end of the spectrum, because that includes some of the light that you might see in a clear blue sky, that kind of light. I like yellowish lights, they feel good emotionally, but I do know that if I really need to concentrate and I'm having a challenge, that going by a window or getting some of that cool light can help me, right? That you can take advantage of that. So that's probably a more subtle one, but it has been shown to make a difference.